This is yeah. This is not good. This is one of my least favorite people on the platform, probably one of your least favorite people on the platform. Let me describe. Feathered hair, always in a tank top, really, really mad at trans people. That's right. It's Arielle Scarcella or whatever. Arielle, look at her. Wow. That is the face of someone who enjoys happiness regularly rather than just sadness and being mad online. Definitely. Non-binary is confusing at best and sexist at worst. Apparently, if you're non-binary, you're sexist. So for those who don't know, a non-binary person simply doesn't feel like the title man or woman necessarily applies. That's it. That just means you live outside of the binary of those two options or within it somewhere. Sometimes that could also, non-binary could also be akin to gender fluidity. There might be a part of gender fluidity that you deal with, but you live outside of non-binary most of the time. If you identify as such, they, them pronouns are very common. Could be neo pronouns. Other than that, that it's literally it. You just don't feel like a man or a woman. Who gives a shit? Okay, cool. Done. Dope. This also, for the record, there's a myth. This does not mean someone is androgynous either. You could be feminine or masculine and not consider yourself binary. That's, I can confirm that I confuse like 90% of the time. Pretty sure I'm just a thembo. I said thembo. A thembo. There you go. That's it. That's all it is. So, yeah. I mean, if you're non-binary, obviously you're valid. But let's hear about Arielle Scarcella saying that no, it makes me sad or upset or something, because it always has to do with every time Arielle Scarcella talks about this, it seems to have to do with one thing and one thing alone, and it seems to be, I don't know if I can fuck this person.
Mormon Jesus.
That's really the whole thing the whole time. Thanks, Altered Rin, for a very well-timed raid. Her perspective seems to always be, I don't know if I can fuck this person because I am a lesbian and I can only have sex with people that identify as women, or it's for some reason she thinks that reflects on her or something. It's really stupid. It's really shitty, and it's not really different from the way that is it gay type fellas talk about having sex with trans people. Like, it's not. Who gives a shit? Like, if you're attracted to somebody and their bits line up and your bits line up, however you want them to line up, and there's a whatever that connection is, go ahead and do the consensual with them. Go ahead and do a little consensuals. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want a consensual, then don't. That's fine too. Who cares? It's like pick your fucking path, I guess. Here it has nothing. If you're worried about non-binary people, just don't have sex with any non-binary people. I feel like you're missing out, but that's fine. That's fine. Live your life. Anyway. So, here's Arielle Scarcella probably saying dumb shit. Surprise.
Morning, babes and babe lovers. So today's topic is non-binary, and as a member of
Pickle Person Platey, if you look at her most popular videos, it's all clickbait sex videos, and it makes sense why her problem with trans people comes down to, it doesn't make me wet. Yep. Pretty much.
The LGBT community, this comes up in conversations an awful lot, and I have never fully expressed what I think.
Why did she cut so much like that?
Of non-binary, if it's even a thing, if it isn't a thing. First of all, I don't think that anyone in the non-binary community even can fully explain what non-binary is.
I'm not in the non-binary community. I am a binary cis man. Phoenix Vengeance, thanks for the 7 months. Jake, I have a cooking question. What sweet filling would you put in a sweet crepe? Making them for my SO on Valentine's Day. I'll answer that in 1 second. Non-binary, again, is just you experience gender in a way that doesn't involve the title man or woman. That's it. That's it. It just doesn't feel like those are right for you. That's the whole thing. There's other stuff that could apply to you, but that's the basic of it. That's the one thing you need to be non-binary. Everything else is like just how you experience being non-binary, right? I don't feel like man or woman accurately describes me. You could be inside of that binary. You could be outside of that binary. You could be tangentially related to that binary. It doesn't matter. It could have nothing to do with it whatsoever. It's literally just, I'm not a man or a woman. It doesn't feel right. Okay, live your life. Forrest Black is dead. As far as the, let's have a, just because Valentine's Day is coming up, and if your non-binary significant other wants delicious something or something, I'll hook you up right now. Now, I don't know if they have any food allergies or anything, but here's what I would do, okay? You got a little sweet crepe. Make sure you got some powdered sugar, okay? You need powdered sugar, preferably some sort of sifting mechanism, like just a sifter so you can tap, tap, tap. Cream cheese and a fruit. Literally, that's it. Take some cream cheese, mix powdered sugar with it, stir it around. I like strawberries. Stir that in. You can mash them. You can also macerate in regular sugar the strawberries first if you want even more sweetness, and then do it that way instead of with the powdered sugar. Powdered sugar is going to give you a nice consistency, though. Mix it with some cream cheese, because the cream cheese is going to cut through the sweetness enough to make it so it's not just like a fucking bomb of like sugar. And it's also going to give a nice consistency, and it's going to hold on to these really well. Any fruit you like: strawberries, pineapples, fucking blueberries, raspberries, whatever you got going on. Mix that in as well, and then just put that inside a crepe. Top it with a little powdered sugar and pretty slices of strawberry or pineapple or chunks of these things. Like, just make it look a little pretty on top. That's all it takes. Boom. You are definitely going to get some part of you suckled upon after that, okay? Some part of you is going to be suckled upon. Just tossing that out there. You're welcome. I don't know why she hates it when people question their identities, especially since she'd probably identify as straight if she didn't question her own sexuality. Exactly. I don't know. Yeah. You can also deep fry them if you want. You really do be chefing though. Yeah, it's easy. Easy shit. Easy shit. I feel like I missed something. Nutella is also good with that if you like some chocolat. How do we get onto dessert? Someone asked. So, moving back to this.
It seems like it's this made-up term that anybody can use for whatever reason they want.
I'm not male, I'm not female, I'm somewhere floating around in there.
Wait,
Yep, that seems fine.
so you're a girl? You're a trans woman? But you're also non-binary? How is that possible?
I don't get it.
I think
That seems pretty straightforward.
that non-binary is actually a new woke way of saying androgynous,
No,
just like wielding a sword of wokeness over the new term for
it's not. Oh my god.
validation purposes, for pronouns, for control.
Don't identify with having a gender.
Oh yeah, look at this very androgynous individual. Wow. If this person said, I am feminine, I am a woman, and this person said, I am a man, right? You'd just be like, okay, very stylish. But as soon as they go like, oh, I'm non-binary, you go, oh, well, that's not valid. You know what I'm saying? Because these are relatively masculine and feminine gender expressions, right? But as soon as they're like, I'm non-binary, you're like, well, not that, we can't do that. I'm androgynous, but I'm not non-binary. Yeah, exactly. Androgyny has nothing to do with it. I said this in the beginning because I knew she was going to bring it up. Not having watched this video, how could you not know she was going to bring up androgyny? You know what I'm saying?
Because I found it really restrictive.
It gives me the freedom to express myself. If I wake up one day and I want to spike my hair and do punk rock makeup, I can do it.
So clothes, makeup, the way they speak, the way they act, whatever. And
Wait. Yes. Wait, gender is a lot of those things. Gender is how you feel, but also part of gender is like just your expression as well. Expression goes into this. So yeah, as part of that, and they go like, it doesn't make me feel comfortable to identify as a man if I'm going to be wearing makeup or something like that. It also doesn't make me comfortable to identify as a woman if I'm going to sometimes not be doing that, and that's fine too. So I have no idea why you have a problem with it. It just doesn't make sense. I'm hyper mask, still non-binary. See, exactly. I don't like, again, my friend Maelstrom that we talked about earlier, AMAB, and recently came out as non-binary within the last few years, but has always sort of been, dabbling with the idea of gender before the words were kind of out there. Like when for instance, when Maelstrom introduced me to D&D back when I lived out in Boise, Idaho, and we got together, identified as a man at the time, but was always doing different expressions of like, I'm gonna wear makeup today, or I'm gonna be with a big bushy beard or something like that. And then there was a period of time after that where the beard came off. It was more femme for a little while, and it's just sort of a way to just like express yourself. However, I know non-binary people that are feminine, right? That like just haven't really changed much about them, and might be AFAB, right? And then sometimes it's just like hypermasculine chat, always expressing masculine, but is non-binary. It just depends on how you feel. That's it. It's the whole thing. Literally, you do this to Arielle as a cis lesbian. What the fuck? I know, right? So Arielle, of course,
And that's one of the
is not like super hyper feminine. There's sort of this I guess she would call it tomboyishness or something. But like she would say something like, "Oh, I'm clearly a woman." Like, I mean, is that clear? I've seen guys with this same outfit, the same exact fit, same hair, hoop earrings, that, they have like a mustache or something. You're like, oh, that's a man. Like, what the fuck? It really doesn't matter. Your gender expression isn't tied to your gender. It's just an aspect of it. It's an aspect of how your gender manifests in the world.
reasons I haven't made a video on this topic. No one has really been able to come up with a concise definition for the term non-binary.
You define the labels don't define you. So you can bring your own definition to whatever label.
On my forehead or something.
Yeah.
And secondly, most of the people I know or that I have seen that identify as non-binary are A, very, very young, and B, tend to seem like they are doing it for a very, very political reason, almost like a fuck you to the patriarchy, or fuck you for telling me how I should think and act.
Non-binary people don't owe you shit. They can use whatever pronouns they see fit. If they dress femme or mask, don't worry about it, cause it's not your fucking bitch.
Which is funny.
That's not a political message. That's what? Wait, Arielle thought that was a political message? What are you talking about, dude? What? That was literally just explaining what non-binary. Oh my god, bro.
Funny because you're actually telling people and telling
so stupid.
the world that you are taking yourself out of a box by putting yourself in another box. One of the questions I have for the non-binary,
I wouldn't say being non-binary is what? How is non-binary putting you in another box? I don't understand.
community is there a difference between somebody that is actually non-binary and transsexual people? So
What? She said an outdated word, and now I don't know what she means.
transsexual meaning people that are born one sex and transitioning, even though you can't technically transition to another sex, but
Oh, she's just being shitty. Surprise. Yes, you don't have to do any of the things to Okay, so being non-binary has nothing to do with any of that shit. Neither does being trans, really. Just most trans people that are binary trans people do tend to want changes. Tend to. Not need. Certainly not need to be valid. Viscos, thanks so much for the 2 months. Like, how do you even... She's not listening. She never fucking listens to the conversation, right? Like, if she would just hang out for like fucking 25 minutes, I feel like I could answer all of her questions. But she's just bad faith and on the grift, dude. Didn't she have Blair White on her channel and she's still with her whole... I don't know. It would take literally no time to learn this stuff if you were in good faith, dude.
Visually, secondary sex characteristics trying to appear as the sex they feel more comfortable as. If non-binary simply means just the way that somebody feels or acts, isn't everybody inherently non-binary?
Holy shit! Almost fucking got it. Wow. Unironically, almost correct. Really close. Did you know that your gender is specific to you? Wow. Wowzers. So close to the real answer, dude. So fucking close. So this is, if you're not part of the fucking conversation, the way this works is there are as many genders as there are people. And you might be thinking to yourself, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. But it does. Because the way I experience masculinity may not be the way you experience masculinity. The way I experience being a man isn't the same way that you experience being a man, and etc. And so my being a man is wholly different from you because we are different people and we experience that different. Now, we are comfortable with the idea of calling it man, right? Because it's similar enough to where it just makes sense to categorize us together for social purposes. That's fine. Anytime you find an umbrella to sit under, cool. But just because you're sitting under the same umbrella doesn't mean you're the same fucking person, does it? It never happened. Two people have not merged by osmosis into the same person by sitting under a physical umbrella. It's just not a case. Same way with just fucking the taxonomy of our social nature, right? So the sort of collective what do you want to call it? It's basically human Dewey Decimal System. We all have our sort of differences, and it sort of filters out, and eventually we just get a much cleaner view of like who we are as a collective. I am a man. A lot of people identify as men, but I'm in a fucking dinosaur suit right now. You know how many people fucking yell at me and like, you're not a real man because I wear these stupid costumes for you guys sometimes? All the time. Happens every fucking day. Follow me on Twitter, you see it a lot. And it's just like I get called a soy boy. I don't know why. I eat some soy, but not a lot. Like, it's just kind of this shit. So anyway, she almost got the answer correct. Almost.
You know, like everybody has more masculine and feminine traits somewhere in their head or their body or whatever. Even if it's not all the time, even if it's just sometimes. It's not normal to be perfectly binary, right? Everybody is kind of on the spectrum.
Holy fucking shit. Yes, then why are you having a hard time with this? You're literally not wrong here. In your attempt to, like, devalue or invalidate non-binary people, you get incredibly close to the actual answer. It's very surprising.
If we're talking about feeling, thinking, and presenting. Because obviously we already know that sex is binary, sex meaning gametes, male.
Sex is not binary, but it's close to binary statistically, but it's bimodal. Anyway, there's lots of ways, but it's not binary. It's statistically it's close, but it's not it's not accurate to say that. It's like saying, I don't know, statistically most people aren't professional baseball players, so there are no professional baseball players. It's like, yeah, there are though. You know what I mean? Just because most people aren't a thing doesn't mean other people aren't stuff. Intersex people exist. It's nuts. Absolutely crazy to include them in a conversation. Usually deleted. But yeah, this person's just really stupid. Shiny Lapras Cheeks. Thanks for following. Nice Tea. Thanks for following as well. It's not statistically close to binary though, because a lot of people do fit into every category for. Well, of course, I'm just saying it's in the ways that sex is determined with our it's usually primary sexual characteristics. People aren't looking through chromosomes and stuff. I understand why someone not part of the conversation is like, sex is binary, totally binary, or one or the other, bro. But it's obviously not accurate, right? So it's just like a layman thing, right? When you don't just understand what you're talking about and you just spew for no reason. Honest question: what are intersex people? Intersex people are those members of the population of humanity that land in roughly the center of the sex distribution. Often these people. Well, there's lots of ways this can manifest. So if I don't say whatever the thing is that you're thinking of, okay. But sometimes these people will have sets of gonads that are how do I want to say this? You could have a lot of the primary sexual characteristics that you'd expect. Penis balls, vagina, ovaries. You can have different combinations therein. Sometimes you can have. You don't necessarily need to have that manifest. And that's like cursory first level Babby's first conversation on the intersex. There's lots of different things that go into being intersex, and so it would take a lot of time to talk about that. But really, it's just there's chromosomes that are you have XXY chromosomes. There you go. It's I don't have an email. Intersex conditions that aren't outwardly visible, yes, and that's why I don't want to box anybody in here. Chromosomal and gonadal and hormonal combos. It's a big old science, but yeah, it's a lot of things. But basically, it breaks down to is from the alchemy that is your body. You do not sit on one side or the other of the conventional, what she's talking about, binary of the sexes. That's pretty much it. It can manifest in a lot of different ways. I suggest, if you're very interested in it, just to Google it. There's lots of different ways that we categorize that. Some are actually not good for your body. Most are fine, and every one of them is valid. So sometimes it can cause complications, hormonal issues and stuff like that. But it's usually more of the socialist issues that come up. It's like asking what are the foods that aren't pizza and tacos? Well, no, that's the only foods that exist though, and that's why it's bimodal. Yes, exactly, bimodal. So bimodal means it's a spectrum on a line. Like there's 2 points roughly, and you typically tip to one side or the other, but not always. Yeah, so it just depends on what's going on. I'm bi, but not modal. Nice.
Female, sperm, egg, simple, basic stuff. No, intersex is not a third sex. And we know that gender dysphoria is also a real thing. It has been scientifically credited, right? So what
the fuck was that?
does non-binary mean if it is a physical thing to some of these people?
Non-binary is not a physical thing. It's your gender. I mean, unless... Well, of course, the brain is physical, but have you ever have a light switch and try to balance it between on and off? Yeah, I have done that, yeah.
Does that mean having partial gender dysphoria? Only having dysphoria on part of your body? And if that was the case, I could get behind that because it is scientifically backed and it would make sense to me that
Why do you think there's... Okay. The editing is really bad in this one. Some non-binary people do have forms of dysphoric reactions to aspects of their physicality. Sure, it's not necessary to be trans or non-binary or whatever, however your gender manifests, to also be experiencing dysmorphia. It just happens a lot, or dysphoria. I'm sorry. It's common that dysphoria happens, but that's not really always a thing. So. I found out about myself when I was 12 and wasn't growing and wasn't going through puberty. My doctor was super cool and even made sure I was educated and consented to how I wanted to develop. That's fucking great. Stardust Romance. That's great.
if somebody came to me and told me, listen, I'm non-binary, I feel if I was fully male, meaning like flat chest, testosterone-driven body, producing sperm, having a penis, I wouldn't feel comfortable, and I don't feel comfortable fully as a female either. As far as the law goes, I think that would be very tricky. I think it's
What law? Why do we need to have laws involving people's genders? What?
becoming increasingly difficult to figure out how to treat non-binary people in the world, because a lot of things are sex segregated or gender segregated or socially sex segregated. As I just said, I think if it is physically and biologically...
Right, that's the point of normalization. Why is she so small-brained about this shit? I just don't understand. Like, why so small-brained? That there's social problems. Yeah, that's what the point is. Stop making the problem worse. Like, just stop it. Don't do that anymore.
And gender dysphoria based. I can get behind the idea of non-binary, but if it is just something as simple as not fitting gender stereotypes, I actually think that is an incredibly sexist idea. What do you guys think, though? Do you think non-binary is a real thing? Why or why not? If it is a real thing, or if it is something that you know could be a real thing, what do you think the definition of it should be? Yes, I am filming this on a different day because apparently I had a lot more to say than originally anticipated. One of the most important questions I have currently regarding non-binary is, why does being non-binary mean the erasure of female characteristics?
It doesn't! What? What? It's not a thing. What? What are you talking about? Oh my god, bro. Oh. I don't understand that at all. That is so dumb. I like that this is the thing she came back the next day to add, which means she had time to think about this, and she just couldn't come to it. Amazing. She doesn't ask these questions in good faith, though, because when you give her an answer, she just blocks you on Twitter. Weird that I'm blocked on Twitter.
Let me explain.
Okay.
Why is it that almost every single female born person that calls themselves non-binary either goes on HRT, testosterone, or at least gets a double mastectomy, top surgery?
That's not my experience in dealing with non-binary people. Is that a thing? What? I know a lot of non-binary people that are AFAB and just have that. Like, what? What? It can be a thing. It isn't always a thing. I know a lot of non-binary people that never make a medical change whatsoever. It's just about it's literally just about like the sort of not fitting into the binary. Like, what? I do wonder what non-dysphoric people transition when they can express themselves without the struggle of transition. Yet if people decide to do it, I don't know what that means. But your patoot. Reducing breast size would be the most common thing, I guess. I think maybe this is because Milo Stewart identifies as non-binary and they got top surgery recently, and so this is just Arielle Scarcella thinks that's everybody. It's so wild. It's super wild. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are AFAB that want breast reduction without it even coming into play in with gender. It's usually because boobas are hard to have sometimes, you know what I mean?
When people who are born male identify as non-binary, usually only just change their gender expression, meaning they wear different clothes, they change their hair, they wear makeup. How often do you see someone that's male that identifies as non-binary getting boobs, getting a boob job, or going on HRT? Why?
It definitely happens. I don't know why it matters. I Hey bitch, I'm non-binary and want HRT. Hello, right here. I don't know, dudes. I don't know. Jim did that? Jim who? What? I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know why it matters. I don't know why it's a thing that even has to come up. It's Jim Sterling. Oh, true. Non-binary finery. Yeah. Jim Sterling is famously on HRT and NB. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about him. They're great. Seriously, their video the other day, was it like 2 weeks ago or something? Like, yeah, really love it. Jim Stephanie is such a pretty name. Yep. Non-binary finery. Love me a Sterling.
Why does one sex feel like they have to make physical changes, but the other doesn't? My friend Chad said this really well, I think. Men are taught to decorate their bodies if they wish to express themselves outside of gender norms. Women must bind, hide, disguise, or physically remove their femaleness in order to accomplish the same. I think this
isn't a thing. It's not real. I don't know what the fuck this guy is just saying words. They don't mean stuff. Anyway. Yeah, that dude's wrong. That dude's just fucking wrong. Actually, let's get that out of here. There we go.
is really
Anyway. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. People are so fucking stupid, dude. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right, let's finish this fucking dumb. Stupid dumb video.
It all comes down to how does one express being neither gender or neither sex? Is the presence of
however they choose is the answer. However they choose. How do you express any gender? Whichever way you like. Don't care. Live your life in exactly the happiest way possible. If you identify as a man and you wear only pretty dresses, guess what? You're a man in pretty dresses. I don't care. Like, literally do not give a shit. I don't know why anyone would give a shit. Just ask for pronouns and make sure, then that's it. Done. No big deal. I don't know why it's got to be deeper than that. It's really not. Just fucking be who you are, dude.
breasts much more obvious as a gender marker than the absence?
It's literally about titties all the time. Am I able to fuck that? I don't know, dude. Just ask. I don't know. They probably don't want to have sex with you, though. You're a loser. Like, I can't imagine a non-binary person sees Arielle Scarcella and goes, yeah, gonna make that woman come soon. Like, nobody fucking wants to get you off. You're bad. You only hang out with turfy lesbians. That's the whole thing. That's your whole bag now. Enjoy it. I hope you have a good time. I hope everything goes well for you. But, like, holy shit, dude, you need to stop. It's just weird. It's odd. You're fixated. You sound like a fucking coomer, dude. And not like a fun coomer. Not like a fun consent coomer. Not just like a fucking incel coomer. Arielle has clearly been at brunch. Someone introduced their MB partner and responded, "Ugh, I cannot keep track of any more pronouns." Fuck off. Yeah, probably. Jesus Christ.
Of them. Why are males that identify as non-binary only adding to themselves while females are removing parts of themselves?
Because sometimes that's just how they feel, bro. That's okay. That's just how they feel. That's fine. They feel a way. Do it. Cool.
To me, that suggests that the male body type is the default gender. Why is
What? The male body type is the default gender? You know how I identify as male body type gender. What? What the fuck? This person has ramen noodle brains.
Is one sex more focused on gender expression, clothes, hair, makeup, while the other is more focused on physical changes, like I said before, testosterone, HRT, top surgery, basically not being perceived as female at all. I'm gonna end the video
That's not how that works.
on a very controversial note because I think my friend Chad, who
I'm going to end on a controversial note. Surprise! I'm only here for the clickbait.
identifies as non-binary, by the way, makes a really good point. He said, in older generations, trans men adopted a variety
It's too many wrinkles? No. Like the dry bricks of ramen noodle, guys. The dry ones. When you touch it, it just crumbles.
of masculine looks that fit their personality and often worked to reach an ideal masculine physique, which I agree. Look at people like Buck Angel.
Look at one person like Buck Angel.
But the current generation isn't doing that. Is anti-female now equal to teenage boy?
What?
He asked why. I think he makes a really good point. And
I think he really makes a good point. You're an idiot. No, it's not a good point. What are you talking about? How is that a good point? You don't know things. Buck Angel is transmed. Fuck. Why are you so stupid, dude?
it's definitely up for a debate, and it's definitely a good point to end the video on. Other than that, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please do it now. And make sure you go and follow me on my locals page, arielle.locals.
No, anyway, we're done with that. So, obviously, more clickbait, how to do lesbian things. Jesus Christ, dude.